Scottie Scheffler just issued a warning LIV Golf can't ignore. And no, this wasn't some offhand remark in a post-round interview. This was deliberate, cold, and razor-sharp. As the world watched the build-up to the Charles Schwab Challenge, Scheffler, the #1 ranked golfer on the planet, looked directly into the media spotlight and said, if they want to bring the tours back together, that's on them. Just like that, the line was drawn. He didn't shout. He didn't need to. But every word landed like a hammer. And the ripple effects? They're already shaking golf's foundations. For anyone paying attention, this was the moment. Scheffler followed up with a line that hit just as hard. I stayed. I'm still here. 5 words, 0 apology. What he really meant. We didn't walk out, we didn't chase the money, and now we're the ones holding the future in our hands. It wasn't just confidence, it was a public shift in the power dynamic between the PGA Tour and LIV Golf. This wasn't a comment, it was a challenge, and it changes everything. The timing couldn't be more explosive. LIV Golf has been clawing its way into relevance since its launch, and while some stars cashed out early, others like Scheffler chose to stay the course. For nearly 2 years, the future of professional golf has hung in the balance. But now, with a single statement, Scheffler has flipped the script, saying out loud what many PGA loyalists have whispered behind closed doors, you left us. You fix it. And just like that, the ball's no longer in the PGA's court. The drama doesn't stop there. This isn't just about a rivalry. This is about identity, legacy, and the soul of the sport. Scheffler didn't throw shade, he delivered a direct hit and made it clear that the PGA Tour is no longer looking to make peace on anyone else's terms. This wasn't bravado, this was calculated dominance. And if LIV Golf wasn't listening before, they are now. But here's the real question. Why now? Why did Scheffler choose this moment to speak out? What's brewing behind the scenes that made him go public with such a strong message? Stick around, because what comes next reveals just how deep this divide really runs. To truly understand the impact of Scottie Scheffler's words, you need to go back to June 2023, the moment when the golf world was turned upside down. That's when the PGA Tour and LIV Golf stunned fans by announcing a historic merger. It was supposed to be a new beginning. Instead, it became a deadlock. Nearly 2 years later, there's still no formal structure, no clear path forward, just rumors, delays, and silence. And now, Scheffler has cracked that silence wide open. Golf's so-called unity in 2025 is hanging by a thread. What should have been a global unified future has turned into a divided battlefield. 54 players want back in, even if they won't say it out loud. Meanwhile, the PGA players who stayed loyal, players like Scheffler, kept building, competing, and evolving. And now, they're being told to make room at the top again? That's a hard no, and Scheffler just made that crystal clear. His statement didn't come out of nowhere. It's the result of months of internal pressure simmering inside the PGA Tour. Executives want resolution, fans want clarity, but the players, they've had enough of the backroom talks and media spin. Scheffler stood up and gave voice to the unspoken frustration inside locker rooms across the sport. He said what others were thinking, but didn't dare to say in front of a camera. And that alone changed the entire tone of this conversation. Let's not forget, Scheffler isn't just leading the world rankings, he's leading the message. In a moment where so many have chosen the safe, media-trained answers, he chose truth. And it landed hard. I stayed. I'm still here. That's not just a quote, it's a line in the sand. It's about who was loyal, who took the risk, and who now deserves to shape the game's future. In just a few words, Scheffler turned a lingering question into a clear demand, and the entire golf world felt it. Scottie Scheffler didn't just fire off a few headline-grabbing quotes, he sent a message with purpose. And if you listen closely, you'll realize he wasn't speaking to the media. He was speaking directly to the 54 players, loud and clear. What he said between the lines was simple. We earned this. You gave it up. And now, if golf needs healing, it's on you to do the work. This wasn't a jab. It was a shift in control. For years, the narrative has been about forgiveness, rebuilding bridges, finding a path forward where everyone gets to shake hands and walk away whole. But Scheffler just flipped that idea on its head. You left. You fix it. That one line reframes the entire conversation. It's no longer about inclusion, it's about accountability. The PGA players who stayed have built something, and they're not about to hand it over with a smile and a golf clap. This isn't a welcome party. It's a reckoning. What makes this moment even more powerful is that it destroys the myth of a soft landing for LIV defectors. For a while, it felt like a return was inevitable, that after some time, the tours would unify, the fans would cheer, and everything would fall back into place. But Scheffler's message? Not so fast. He's not bitter. He's just drawing the line. He stayed. He sacrificed. And now he's defending the house he helped protect. There's no more pretending this is a clean reunion. And here's the real twist. This isn't just Scheffler expressing frustration. This is a power play. And it's working. The balance of power has shifted. LIV may have had the headlines, the money, and the spectacle, but the PGA Tour now has momentum, unity, and players with purpose. Scheffler just positioned himself and those who stayed as the gatekeepers of golf's future. Not the rebels, not the defectors, and that message just changed the tone of every negotiation going forward. While LIV Golf may have once believed it could force its way back to the table, it now finds itself at the mercy of those who never left. And the door? It's not closed, but it's definitely not wide open anymore. The moment Scheffler's comments hit the press, the media didn't waste a second. Headlines erupted across golf outlets describing his statement as harsh, unfiltered, and a rare moment of raw leadership. Sportskeeda called it a blunt wake-up call, while Sky Sports labeled it a cold but calculated response to the LIV situation. In an age where most athletes are coached to speak in circles, Scheffler did the opposite, and that's why the reaction was so immediate. When a quiet leader speaks loudly, the whole sport listens. But it's not just the journalists weighing in, it's the fans who are split right down the middle. On one side, you've got the PGA loyalists, the ones who see Scheffler as a hero, finally standing up for the tour and saying what nobody else would. They call it real talk. On the other side, critics say the tone was unnecessary, divisive, and lacking the grace the sport is known for. They worry it's fueling a war golf desperately needs to end. This isn't just a PR debate, it's a culture clash. What's even more telling is the silence from other PGA stars. Rory, Spieth, Cantlay, none of them have backed Scheffler publicly, at least not yet. That silence, it says everything. Not because they disagree, but because they know how loaded this moment is. Scheffler put his name and reputation on the line, and now he's the one carrying that message forward alone. Sometimes leadership means walking into the storm without a crowd behind you. And don't think for a second that LIV Golf didn't hear it. While no official response has come from their camp, the whispers are there. LIV insiders reportedly view Scheffler's words as disrespectful and arrogant, especially from someone they might share a locker room with in the future. But that's the point. Scheffler doesn't care about playing nice. He's not building bridges. He's guarding the one he already stands on. And now it's LIV's move, but they're playing from behind. This wasn't just a press room moment. It was a shot that echoed across both tours, and its impact is only just beginning to unfold. Because the real question isn't how LIV will respond, it's whether they can respond at all. While LIV Golf has been busy trying to force its way into the spotlight, the PGA Tour has quietly been reinventing itself from the inside out. Bigger prize pools, global expansion, new media deals, and most importantly, a loyalty model that rewards the players who stayed. Guys like Scheffler are no longer just stars on the leaderboard, they're the foundation of a brand new era. And the PGA isn't just surviving, it's adapting faster than anyone expected. This isn't the same tour LIV tried to tear down in 2022. It's stronger, faster, and fully awake. The PGA's new model is based on one thing: commitment. Elevated events with guaranteed appearance fees for loyal players. Bonus pools for those who play the full schedule. International growth into markets 54 was trying to target. The message is loud and clear. If you stood by the PGA is going to stand by you. And for once, the incentives don't just go to the loudest voice in the room, they go to the ones who showed up when it mattered. This shift is turning loyalty into leverage, and that changes everything. Meanwhile, LIV's future is more uncertain than ever. The spectacle has faded, TV viewership is unpredictable, sponsorships are shaky, and the players who defected are realizing something brutal. They may have taken the paycheck, but they lost the legacy. Without a clear merger or pathway back into major events, LIV risks becoming a high-paying sideshow with no real stakes. The longer this goes unresolved, the less likely a true reunion becomes. And that window? It's closing faster than anyone on the LIV side wants to admit. Which leads to the ultimate question. Is reconciliation still possible? Could we still see one unified golf tour that brings everyone back under the same roof? Technically, yes. Realistically, not if players like Scheffler keep setting the tone. His message wasn't built on hope or healing. It was built on merit, accountability, and competitive integrity. And those things don't leave much room for a clean handshake with the past. Sometimes bridges burn for a reason. Scheffler's warning may go down as more than a quote. It may be the official start of golf's next chapter. One where the PGA doesn't wait around, one where the players who stayed become the architects of the future, and one where 54, despite all the money and hype, finds itself looking in from the outside. This wasn't just about drawing a line, it was about drawing the blueprint for what comes next. Because now, for the first time in 2 years, the future of golf doesn't feel stuck. It feels like it's finally moving forward. And if LIV wants to be part of that future, they'll have to play by a whole new set of rules.